first started FirstSpear, we knew we had to come up with a couple things that were going to put us on the map, essentially. Tubes was one of them, right? We looked at the current platforms out there, and to be honest with you, we ultimately became like a chop shop. We would take a platform and we were like, how do we ditch all this? Looking to reduce the weight, but we were also looking for a capability to have an emergency release system.
The origin of tubes really predates FirstSpear and goes all the way back to 1999 when a Marine Corps helicopter went off the edge of a ship and 6 Marines and a sailor lost their lives because they couldn't get out of their equipment. Out of that, a requirement for releasable systems was developed.
Once we all got involved with the basic concept, then we started polishing that and the cable went out completely.
We wanted it to do a few things. We wanted to make sure that it was functional, one-handed, and made it easier to don and doff a system. A sliding style fastener that, you know, has a latch on it, and how do we solve this issue?
Trevor, Scott, and I went to lunch one day and even went to Lowe's to start making the original #1 concept.
And walking up and down the aisles, like just looking at things like maybe to spark some type of idea on what we can use or how we can go about doing what we want to do. And I was like, well, let's take some PVC and slit it down the middle and take some fuel line and
using adhesive back fabric and 550 cord and making an actual original initial, hey, this is prototype #1.
Then we cut material, trying to wrap it and try to slide, but it worked a little bit, but not that good, not compared to what we have now.
Too difficult. I think about what the hell this one, what they do for.
The first prototype, it was enough to tell us that we had something in the concept.
Even those small attempts at trying to figure this thing out, they were working better than the old school closure systems.
Doing computer solid modeling stuff, making alternate designs, and I think when it started we had a multiple release. We had the top release and it slides out the bottom, a bottom release, you slide it out the top, and I think Scott was the one that said, why can't we just have one release?
And then that's when it came up with the center pull that it is today to be able to release a system, whether you release it downward or upwards.
As far as challenges in the development, that was like a radical step in a direction that I don't think anybody in the industry has ever gone. You know, getting away from the traditional mindset of Velcro and hook and loop type fasteners, and once they developed it and figured out, you know, all the issues of, you know, what's going to go into the buckle and how are we going to mold it, and, you know, what materials are they going to use, and does it meet compliance, is it berry compliant, does it, you know, IR reflective wavelengths, like there's so much science that goes into the actual production of just the buckle.
The requirements for exposure to petroleum and oil and lubricants, exposure to pool water, salt water, nasty water, cold, heat, shock, impact, all of that went into the design, development, and engineering of tubes.
The tubes were tested and they were retested and redone, and there was just so much technology put behind it, and they knew what they wanted to do, and they did it. They came out with a product that changed the industry.